a clear example of how women create their own loneliness and misery. So I know a lot of guys are similar to me, and I know my experience. Um, when I was younger, I wanted love and I wanted to get married. We're talking 20, 25 years ago. Um, and even in my teens, even from like 15, 14, 15, I like really wanted a girlfriend. And I wasn't like just some horn dog. I wasn't out there trying to just smash everything. Yeah, I mean, I got horny. Yeah, like guys want sex. But the lie from wherever, feminism, wherever, that women grab onto and run with to justify all their hoe actions, right? Is that all guys want is sex, all guys just want to smash, which is such a lie. It's so not true. Yes, guys want to smash, guys want sex, and so do women, right? And when women say, "Oh, all guys want is sex," they're implying that they don't only want sex too, which they do, and they do partake of, right? So that's a not only is it a lie, against men, it's a hypocrisy against women, or it's a, women are being hypocrites, right? Because they want that too, and they do have that too, right? But what they're really not telling you is that they only want sex with the top tier guys, and they only want boyfriends from the top tier guys, right? So this is all the stuff that you learn when you take the red pill. This is all the stuff that you learn years and years into the game, years and years into understanding female nature, dealing with women, dating, etc. You learn this lie by omission and hypocrisy, right? But a lot of guys want love, and a lot of guys want relationships, right? But they can't get the love and they can't get the relationships because of female hypergamy, and because what a lot of women do when they're younger is they want to play the field. And they don't just say they want to play the field. They have all these subterfuge, excuses, and lies. Like I said, one of them is all guys want is sex, right? They put all these lies out there. Men are bad, men are like this, and this is why I'm going out and being young. I'm a young independent woman, and men are just dogs anyways, so why should I, chase men, woo woo woo, when they don't say that the men that they're chasing are the players. They're the top tier guys who all the other women want, and then they get used for sex, and then they wonder, why can't I land this top tier guy? Because all the other women want him, and he's a hot commodity. He's a high value man. So it's not that you should lower your standards necessarily per se. It's that there are other attractive guys out there. Maybe they're just not as amazing as this one guy that all the other women want, but they have their good qualities as well. And I don't believe that there's like only this one class of guy that all these women can. No, it's because of hypergamy. So women are screwing themselves because of hypergamy. So they're all chasing this one guy when really there's a lot of other very good options that they'd be just as attracted to, who might not be as tall or as rich or quite as handsome or whatever. It's the same with men. Men are like, oh, well, she's attractive. No, she's not a 10 out of 10 supermodel, but she's attractive and I could love her. I've been in that situation where I've dated girls who are like maybe a 6 out of 10, honestly, or a 5 out of 10, honestly, on a good day. And like, I really cared for those girls for a while until, certain things happen and then they showed their true colors or it didn't work out or whatever. But I could have been with those girls. I would like a 10 out of 10 too, but I'm not going to just be selfish and like, oh, I'm only going to go for a 10 out of 10. No, like I could date a 5 out of 10 if she had a good personality and she was really loving or whatever. Like I could go for that. But it's not that I'm lowering my standards. It's that I'm just opening up options to other things. Women won't do that because of their hypergamy. They believe, because their hypergamy mixed with their narcissism, they believe that they only got to get the best out of the best. And I got this guy and he's my prize and all the other women want him and woo woo. I got my special guy. And the reason why they believe this is because when guys want to have sex with them, it pumps up their ego. They think, oh yeah, I'm God's gift, and in a sense, you could be God's gift to one guy, but you're not God's gift to all guys. That's where women get it twisted. You're not supposed to be God's gift to all guys. You're God's gift to one guy. There's a million zillion attractive women out there. So when multiple men, dozens of guys want to have sex with you or want to date you or want to marry you, it doesn't mean that like you're special per se, because they want to do that with a whole bunch of other girls too, and they just don't. Women don't see that correlation. They don't see the difference there. They think it's all about me, and this is narcissism, right? This is actually, I should say, it's solipsism. The world revolves around me. Solipsism. A lot of guys want to have sex with me, so therefore I must be something special. Not really, because there's a billions. How many women are on the earth? 5 billion at this point, almost. You are one of many, right? You are one of many. And what they do, unfortunately, when they're young, there's always hypergamy. There's always going to be the bigger, better deal. There's always going to be the better guy, the taller guy, the guy with better body, the guy with cooler cars, the guy with more money, and they chase that, and then they get used, and then they say all guys are trash. So this is how women screw themselves when they're young. And it's a lack of teaching, it's a lack of parenting, and it's, poison from feminism. You need to get married when you're young. You need to find a good guy when you're young. So what I often end up seeing is, and this happened to me, guys will want a girl when they're young. They want one girl when they're young, but they get cheated on, or women are not, into them because they're not the top tier guy. So then what happens is later on, guys get their revenge. Later on, it comes full circle. And by the time she's 25, she's pretty highly used goods. She's starting to get passed up. Believe it or not, at 25, she's starting to get passed up by guys who are coming into their own. Guys come into their own later on. So guys come into their own when they hit 25, 30, then they start to get a good job, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what a lot of women try to do, this is the new strategy. This is the alpha F's, beta bucks, right? She sleeps around with the alpha guys, chases the bad boys until she's 25, until she's 27, 28, right around that epiphany phase, and then she settles down with the beta, with the docile, steady, predictable, monogamous, not going to cheat on her, not going to go out on her, docile beta, right? He's got the career, he's got the house. Oh, he's a good catch. Now I'm gonna pretend like I'm reformed, or I'm gonna pretend like I wasn't sleeping around. I'm gonna pretend like, or she looks for the liberal white knight guy who's like, yeah, I don't care about your past, when in reality he does, because all men care. And he's just saying that because he's got no other options. He's saying that to make himself more attractive. He's saying that because he's got to settle, because he can't compete with a lot of other guys, so he's got to pretend like he's an ally. He's got to pretend like he's a white knight and he's a savior. Oh, you can come, I'll house you and wife you and, accept your baggage, whether that be kids from another guy or STDs or whatever, right? All the stuff you're carrying, I'll accept your high body count. I'll accept that you're an ex-ho. I'll accept all this stuff because I'm low self-esteem. I'm a weak guy, but I got the money and I got the house and I'm, whatever, right? And she's like, oh, there's my guy, there's the winner. And then you have these loveless marriages, right? You have these compassionless, boring sex marriages because the woman settles, because she had her fun, and this is the guy who she can get. Guys are getting smart, and this is where guys get their revenge. Is like, smart guys, quality guys are like, no, I'm not settling for that used goods. I can tell she's used goods. She's past her prime. She's past 25. This is why guys are going for younger women. But it's a curse, because the younger women, they want to still play the field, right? But this is an example of how it comes back to bite women, because a lot of times they can't find that guy. A lot of times they might not even be attracted to that guy. and they have to settle for that guy, and then they're unhappy in their marriage, and they're unhappy in their sex life because that's the guy they can get. You kind of, a lot of times you get what you deserve, and this is what it is. You have this boring, docile beta, and he is a boring, docile beta. That's why he was picked over. That's why he was left alone and not chosen, and he's ready for you because he doesn't have a sense of humor, or he's not fun, he's not exciting, he's not good in bed, he's got a small member, whatever. He's short guy, he's balding or whatever, right? Women don't want him, and that's why he's single, ready for you. But he's got the house, he's got the car, he's got the money, he's steady. I'm not saying he's rich, but he's just steady, and that's a bottom line requirement, and he's got that. Whereas a lot of the guys she's attracted to, these guys maybe are kind of losers or have low paying jobs or whatever. She doesn't want to go live in an apartment with this guy, even though he's exciting or whatever. He's not financially well off, or at least good enough for her, and then she goes to this other guy who is okay. He's got a house, so she weighs her options. Well, at least this guy's giving me a nice lifestyle. I can be kind of comfortable. Maybe I can cheat on the side, whatever, right? But a lot of times they can't find that guy, so what ends up happening is they get broken down. Just their standards got to lower. Right? So at first they start off and it's like, she would never date you, you're too much of a whatever, right? Or not enough of whatever, right? And then 10, 15 years later, she's knocking on the door of 35, knocking on the door of 40. Now all of a sudden she's desperate. Now she would date you, right? But it's too late, because now you've learned, now you've taken the red pill, now you've grown up. And you realize she's used goods. You realize she's a red flag. You realize she's not up to your standards, right? So this is how women screw themselves when they're young. Is guys are ready. I don't, there's this lie that it's projection. So much in feminism is projection. They're really just projecting their own insecurities or their own faults or their own hypocrisies onto men. Guys really are very romantic. Guys want love, right? Guys want to settle down, right? Guys don't want to cheat. Guys are very idealistic when it comes to marriage, very traditional when it comes to marriage and love. Guys are, that's what I've always known. I've always seen that, and that's how I was. And yet it's the women who are the ones who are cheating around. It's the women are the ones who are playing the fields. The women are the ones who are no longer traditional, poisoned by modern feminism, right? Which is such a dubious lie, because they're saying one thing and doing another. They're playing a part in their own projection and hypocrisy, and not even realizing it, or not even caring, or just too lost in the sauce to realize what they're doing, because it's too easy. It's too easy to go out and jump into bed with some guy. It's too easy to just get an OnlyFans and take money for selling your nude pics. It's too easy to just be a narcissist thirst trap. It's too easy for women, and it goes to their head. It's solipsism. It corrupts them. And this is why having a solid traditional culture is the best way to go, right? We see the corruption in society today. We see the results of this type of degeneracy, right? We see it. It's manifested in the divorce rate. It's manifested in single parent households. It's manifested in broken homes and broken hearts and cheating and all the stuff that that's out there. And then you just end up having a culture that's just basically licentious, corporately licentious, and that's not a culture that can last. That's not a culture that can stand the test of time. We've lost tradition. Yes, there's been a push back to tradition, but from men, right? But if there's no quality, solid women, all that's left for men to do is settle. All that's left for men to do is to just, suck it up and and settle for used goods. You know, take a loss, lower your standards. Men are the ones who have to do that, not women, because there's always going to be the standards for men. It's just that there's this whole thing now in society where it's like, okay, forget about sex. We can't have any standards when it comes to your partner's past, right? And usually what that means is that the guy has to take the fall, because the guys are not the ones out there having sex, because most guys can't. Most guys don't have that ability because it's not available to them, but yet it's available to all women. So what's happening is the women are just sleeping with these top tier men in high numbers, and these top tier men are getting all the women. Top tier men in looks, you know, money, status. But these top tier men are just playing the field. They're just, you know, pumping and dumping, right? They're just pumping and dumping. They're not settling with these women. They're not dating these women long term. So the guys who are dating the women long term, the guys who do have to settle down with these used goods women, are the guys who wanted to settle down earlier, the guys who are idealistically into love, and the guys who don't have the access to sleep around, because if they did have the access to sleep around, then they probably wouldn't be idealistically into love. See how that works? And they have to wait. And I saw this video, which always sticks out in my mind. About 10 years ago, I saw this video of this woman. She made a video and she said, women love nice guys, but only at the end. Only at the end. And she basically just spells it out. And I wish I knew where this video was. It's somewhere probably on YouTube. I could try to find it, but I used to have it on my computer. This woman basically in this video admitting, she's just talking, she just admits, she just says women love nice guys, but they don't love nice guys at first. They want to settle down with the nice guys later on. So she's like, I think the video was called something like nice guys finish last, meaning, oh, your niceness will pay off, but you got to wait until she's done riding the cock carousel. She didn't say those exact words, but that's basically what she said. She said women love the nice guys, but it's later on in life that they love the nice guys. And she's genuinely trying to like encourage nice men, and she's genuinely like thinking that she's helping guys or giving some good public service announcement, when in reality she's basically just giving the game away for women. She's really just saying, yes, women want to go sleep around, and then once they're done sleeping around, they'll settle for your weak nice ass, right? Excuse my French, but you know, that's what it is. That's what it is. When you are a nice guy, it doesn't pay off. When you are the guy who wants love, the guy who wants romance, the guy who wants traditional relationships, it doesn't pay off, because women are out here sleeping around, and if you're viewed as the nice guy, you are basically friend zoned until she's ready to settle down, and then you're a hot commodity. Only if you're ready to give her monogamy for the rest of your life, you're ready to accept all her baggage, you're accepting her used goods, you are paying the bills, you are steady, docile, traditional, predictable, reliable, disciplined, responsible, etc. All these things that women want in traditional men, but they don't want it until they're ready to settle down. See? But the thing is now is that a lot of the nice guys are waking up. There's a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. We have the red pill. We've got the rational male. We've got all the red pill information on the internet. You have more options. And if there are no more options, if there are no pure women out there, then your best option is to not settle. Because why should she have her cake and eat it too, but you can't have your cake and eat it too? See how that works? But a lot of guys, they just get lonely, and they're like, well, it's better to have a woman, even though she's used goods. It's better to just have a woman than be alone, right? I don't think so. I'm not of that mind. I think that I would rather be alone than lower my standards, or, you know, suck it up and say, hey, yeah, cool, you have a high body count, you're very experienced sexually with all these other men, and yet now it's my turn, but because I'm the nice guy who does everything and I pay the bills, now you'll let me live with you for the rest of your life. It's just like, what happened to the first half? What happened to the first 20 years? Now that you're 30, 40, right? You've been sleeping around since you were 15, 16 now, because kids are doing it younger now, right? You know, since high school, you've been sleeping around, and now that you're 30 years old, now you want to settle for me. So that 15 years of, you know, constant random men, I just look the other way about, and it's all good. Like that's just not me. I can't do that. I can't do it. And so, and what are the options in today's society? You know, you could get a really overweight woman, because she's probably, she's probably going to have no other options. You can get highly used goods, right? She's had her fun, rode the carousel, and now it's your turn for the rest of her life. Or you could get a single mom, because guys don't want single moms, right? Now you got to take care of some kid who's not yours, which is just demeaning and the most emasculating thing possible. Or you could go MGTOW, or you could take the red pill and say, nah, I'm not doing all that other stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, I think a lot of guys settle. I think a lot of guys are like, well, it's better to at least have a woman than not have a woman, and I guess this is my option. So really it comes back down to, women are, dishonoring their future men. Frankly, they're dishonoring their future love by sleeping around. Or they're screwing themselves, because a lot of guys are not choosing these women anymore. A lot of guys are walking away just saying, I'm gonna go play video games, or I'm gonna go build something in the woods, I'm gonna go work on cars. I choose something else. I choose a third option. Screw love, screw all that. Because men are idealistic, men are romantic, right? Men are the ones who want that ideal love. Men are the ones who are like, yeah, it was special, it was meant to be. I don't think women are like that. I really don't. I don't know if they ever were. Women are the ones who are exercising options. Women are the ones who are, in business. I heard a great quote. I think it's from Coach Greg Adams. He says, on YouTube, you can find Coach Greg Adams. He says, men are in love, women are in business, right? You're fulfilling her hypergamy. She wants to know how much money you make. She wants to know what kind of lifestyle you're giving her. And then I would argue, is that even love? Is that even love? Right? Is that even really love? You're basically just settling. You're buying a woman. You're buying a woman, and she's got used goods. You're buying a high mileaged woman, really, because it's not love. You can't say it's love when she wants you to make a certain amount of money. That's not love. You can't say it's love when you got to pass all these financial requirements, materialistic requirements, lifestyle requirements in order for her to really actually be with you. That's not real love. That's just fulfilling her desires. That's just fulfilling her materialism, her solipsism, right? And at the end of the day, guys got to walk through those hoops. And guys are like, nah, maybe not. Maybe that's not worth it. To me, it's not worth it. And you're liable from the state to get half of your money taken away in a divorce. Is that worth it? I don't believe so, brother. I really don't. But I think women are messing themselves up. And I think guys are waking up. And it's sad. It's unfortunate, because this is our society. This is our future. We need traditional marriage. We need traditional love. We need traditional families. And that can really only happen when you have quality women. Because I don't think it's coming from the men. I think that's a lie from feminism. That men are the ones who are perpetrators in the whole, degenerate scene. Yeah, men are partaking. But that's because they have the options to partake. Most men don't have the options. But I also think that most men really do want traditional love. It's just it's not available to a lot of men these days. That's why marriage rates are, it's part of why marriage rates are down, but it's also because men are walking away. Men are taking the red pill and waking up, right? If there was quality women out there, then I think men would marry them. I really do. If there was quality women out there, I think it would work out. But they're few and far between. You know, very rare these days to come across options for most men. Most men have the option of being single or taking a loss, basically. Settling with something that's below their standards, settling with something that's not good enough, really, on paper. But they have to look the other way and say, well, this is better than eternal loneliness, right? This is better than loneliness for the rest of my life. I accept her baggage, look the other way, and I take a risk. I assume all the risk. I assume damage in, settling. I assume damage in lowering my standards, and I assume risk for the rest of my life, because at any time she can just decide she wants to be with somebody else. At any time she can find somebody better and divorce me, take my money, mess me up, mess my life up at any time. And women are initiating 80% of divorces. Women are filing for 80% of the divorces out there. This is a fact. Guys know this. Guys are waking up. Is it worth it? Unless you can just find a unicorn. You find a pot of gold and get lucky. Right? But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate you listening. It's Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.